Okay, YouTube, let's get ready for Trap Vision's 10th live of the day.
To become a watch enthusiast, start by setting a budget, learning basic watch terminology, exploring different brands and styles by visiting watch stores, trying on watches in person, and gradually building a collection with entry-level timepieces while focusing on aspects that interest you most, like design, history, or complications. Actively engage with the watch community online and in person to further your knowledge and appreciation for watches.
Okay.
Yeah! What's happening? What's happening, everybody, man? Welcome in to the most phenomenal show in history, man. First and foremost, before we even get a watch check, we got a person on the stage that if it wasn't for this man, Timex would not have any life on YouTube. I'm talking about the greatest personality, the greatest voice. I'm talking about James Earl Joe level horology. Please give it up for Reese Unwound, Mr. Tyree. What's going on,
Hey,
baby? What's
I
going on,
appreciate
man?
y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. But y'all are the ones that I'm trying to be like when I grow up. You know what I mean? I've been
Hey,
watching
bro,
your videos, trying to
listen.
figure out how to go live. You know what I mean? How to talk about content, how to break it down. We got a watch builder himself, a man who actually understands what's going on. I still can't get the hands on the watch that I'm trying to build. We got Travis, a man who's connected to everywhere across the nation. So really, I'm honored to be a guest amongst you legends. So thank you for having me on today.
Man, bro,
Far too
listen.
kind. Far too kind.
It's my pleasure, man. And of course, everybody, y'all already know this man is a phenomenon. He's an anomaly. This guy started like a year ago and has been just like grounded. He is groundbreaking. He is the most influential guy. Handsome dude, man. Shout out to his wife. This guy is Mr. Watch Cruncher. When I tell you connection, man, this dude has more connections than the nervous system in your body, man. The boy got layers, all right? The boy got layers. So please help me welcome the phenomenal, the stupendous, man. Listen, he's my hero. And he's
Oh,
younger than me.
man.
He's my hero.
You
This
doing
man
too
is
much.
greater than Superman himself, man. This man will run the fade with Goku. Mr. Skyler Santana. Welcome
What's
here,
going
bro.
on, everybody? What's going on, people? That was way too much, bro.
Man,
I gotta fill those shoes now, man. You put me in a predicament.
hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It is a privilege to be here with you, gentlemen. I never would have thought it would have led to this, but this is exciting, and I'm happy to chat with you guys. I'm excited, man. Let's do it.
gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting outside my favorite restaurant, but because it was so much noise in there, it was so crowded. And here's the problem, y'all. When I mentioned to the people in the chat, or actually in the restaurant, I said, "Hey, I have this guy, the Timex guy." He was like, "Wait a minute, Mr. Tyree's gonna be there?" I said, "Yeah." And Skylar Santana, the ladies were going crazy, bro. I said, "Hey, listen,
Uh,
they're married. They're married men. They're listen. You can't like you know what I'm saying." So I literally. I got security behind me. You know what I'm saying? They're guarding the truck right now. They're outside. Like y'all probably can't tell, but the truck is moving a little bit. Like I've never seen nothing like this since Michael Jackson, bro. And man, it's crazy. It's crazy. So guys, man,
Yo,
before we get started, what's on the wrist?
Tyree, go ahead, man.
first of all, I need you to be me up everywhere I go in my life because I need that kind of energy. Right? But I guess mine's gonna be the least of a mystery of us all. So I'll go ahead and start off first. I gotta have a Timex on the wrist. But today I'm going to a birthday party, so I like to add a little bit of flavor to it, something a little bit different. And so
Okay.
I just dropped a video recently talking about the different Rolex nicknames, whether it be the Coke,
Yep.
the Pepsi, the Kermit,
Yep.
Smurf.
Yep.
Check it out in the video. So Timex came out with the If You Know, You Know series, in which they took 6 iconic nicknames and kind of put just a little twist on it so that if you know, you know. And so this is the Timex Q. But what's special about it is that seconds hand is actually a straw because this is the If You Know, You Know. This is that Pepsi colorway. So I got that on wrist. I'm also rocking it with a Strap Habit strap. Strap Habit makes the best straps for the Timex Q. So got the Timex If You Know You Know series on the wrist. Shout out to Strap Hat for the straps.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful, bro.
Very nice. Yeah.
So what
Mr.
about y'all? What y'all
Santana.
rocking on wrist?
What I got on wrist today, since I'm sitting down with some kings, I had to bust out some jewelry, if you will. So this is a very special watch for me. This is the Venetianico Nerede a Oreo. Gold-plated dial,
Ooh.
tungsten bezel. They have the Sansevino bracelet on here. We have a Swiss-made movement, SW200. It shows the evolution of Venetianico, made from Italy. You guys know how I feel about them. This was an actually special piece for them to give to the channel for me to do the review. And I gotta flex a little bit. Just saying.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, y'all, I have this love affair with this watch, man. Hold on, let me go ahead and hit this up real quick. So, I've been rocking this all week, man. This is that
Good, good, good.
Tissot Heritage 1938 small seconds. Chronometer certified. This watch was and is one of the most amazing watches that I never thought that I would own in my collection, man. 39 millimeter. It's a statement piece for me. It's a statement piece for me, man. And seeing that you guys just man, you guys hit like drop some gems as far as y'all watches are concerned, y'all today's watch. And that's what we want to go with right now, man. We're gonna jump and please, everybody in the chat. What's up, Rob? What's up, Ben 10? What's up, Riskful Ignorance? What's up, Ramon? Oscar? Luciano is in the building. Eric Mack. Oh, Miss Santana's in the building. You know, hey,
Santana's on
morning.
board.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Kamon is in the building. Brent, good morning, everybody, man. Thank you guys for being here on this beautiful morning because guess what? You guys are spending what is the most valuable asset, which is time. And we got two people up here, you know. We got Mr. Supple up here. We got Mr. Risto. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I guess that'd be a T-shirt for Miss Santana. My man,
Hey,
Supple.
Hey, when you drop merch, Snapple got to be on there somewhere. You know what I mean? You gotta. Just that's all I gotta stay across the front. Be like, yeah, if you know, you know. You know what I mean?
If you know, you know. And I promise, bro, that has to be the one, man. But gentlemen, there's a couple things I want to talk about today, man. There's been a lot of noise, man, I'll say in three sectors, right? The way I've been consuming YouTube, Watches and Wonders is coming up April, right? Big deal. I mean, this is a huge deal. Actually, I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time. I have some notes here. Oh, we got a. Hold on, wait. Did we get a Godfather's in the
Yeah,
building?
we got
Who
a
just
super
gave a
chat,
super
bro.
chat?
We got a super chat.
Yo! Even though I heard it was last watch. Don't do me, bro. Don't do me like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Um, there are three sectors that I've been looking at. Watches and Wonders, which making a big deal about that because you do have some phenomenal names in there. You got IWC, you got Grand Seiko, you got big boys, right? Like the top of the top, cream of the crop type of watches, man. So everybody and their mama's gonna be going there. And I've never been. I'm gonna ask you guys if you had a chance to go to a Watches and Wonders, would you go?
100%. Yeah, it's not a question.
Okay.
I'm trying to go in the next. I'm trying to go next year. You know what I mean? I'm trying to. Now my wife, she gonna have to go with me because she gonna want to go look at all the sites. I'm just trying to see the watches. So it's gonna be a little gift. My birthday in April, so you know what I mean. It could be a little early birthday gift for me, a little anniversary gift for her. So yeah, I'm looking to go one of these days. What about y'all?
Okay.
For me, I got to keep it 100, man. It wouldn't be on my list of priorities. I mean, look, it's watches. It's a lot of historical value on there. You guys know how I feel about, high-end brands. I give them their flowers all day long. However, I don't pay much mind to them. I'll be flat out and honest. I can't afford them. So for me, I got to be able to focus. I got the mind of a squirrel. So I got to be able to focus on one thing at a time. So, I mean, I don't want to sit here and say that it's not worth my time. It's just that I have to put my energy, one place or another. So I would probably go to something else first, but I can't rule it out altogether. I think one day for sure.
See,
Okay. Hey,
I'm in a similar boat though. So like, first of all, I love Timex in general, hence I'm a Timex guy. But one of the things that also helps me is by only predominantly collecting one brand, it helps me stay focused and not buying all the things that I like. But sometimes it is
Right.
just walk through a showroom and just see what you got. But I think for me, the reason why I would really want to go is less for the watches, but for the people. I think the type of people that you see at an event like that, or like those are the people who love some watches. Now they may not, I might not fit in because I'm gonna be rocking a Timex on my wrist. But
Right.
being able to connect and see the stories, the kind of people who travel across the world to see and talk watches, that's what I'm more there for the people than I would be for the watches, because I'm in the same boat. Like I spend all my money on my setup. You know what I mean? I can't be out here balling out on watches like that too much. I'm a Timex collector after all.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I just wanted to add one other thing. If you watch Jenny L, right, she reported on Watches and Wonders last year.
Yes.
Here's the thing that turned me off. I think it was Patek Philippe. They had a display on the outside, and they were only inviting certain people on the inside. And listen, I know that that's just a game. That's just how it works. But dude, if I get on a plane, if I buy a ticket, if I go down there and you tell me I can't go inside and touch and feel the watches, I'm gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
I watched that same episode, and I feel the same way you do, as far as that's concerned. But then that just tells the story, bro. That's a certain market that they're going for, and they want, you know what I'm saying. It's so exclusive to where everybody was like, "Hey, you bought a ticket, good for you. You're still not getting to the watch." You know what I'm saying? And, that's sort of like what the whole Rolex thing. It's like, you want a Rolex? I here, buy some jewelry. Go buy this 1908. Go buy it. Buy something else before, or build up the ability to buy this. Or even that watch. What was the watch that Sylvester Stallone? It was so controversial last year. He sold like one of the most complicated watches at the point. I think it was Patek. And you had to be on a list. You had to get a lottery, and he was the only one to get it. Blah blah blah, and he sold it right for more than what he got it, and people was just up in arms. But yeah, there's a certain amount of people, or there's a certain class of people that can actually get there. So that one kind of had me turned off too. But this is funny. He said, "Hey, I was wondering. This is for Santana. I was wondering if you wanted to make a collection smaller by giving away the Vizionico. I can help you out for sure."
First of all, Oscar, congratulations on the perfect attendance as usual. But second of all, you're not getting no Vizianicos over here, man. I'm locking down these Italian watches for myself.
Hey, bro, and lock it down.
You know what part of Italy they're from?
I think it's Venice.
Venice.
Hey, so this is not watch related, but it is my life related. I'm actually going to Italy later in April, and I'm flying into Venice. So I might need to just stop by there, Marco Polo Airport. I'm running an ultra marathon out there in Italy. So.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Really? Okay.
Yeah. So Tyree, just so you know, they have a whole Venezianico is not just an online brand. They actually have stores, and in Italy, they have their master store. So if you go there, if you can make it to their master store, you might even meet the owners over there. And they're a whole setup. So I would definitely look into that for sure. They usually have their locations listed on their website.
Okay. I'll give him a
That's
shout out.
What's up. That's what's up. Ben 10 said Venice is so nice. So, all right. Have you guys looked at the Morgan Stanley report?
I have not. Give us some details. Give us that news.
So I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna run it through real quick. You know what I'm saying? So 2023, I'm gonna give you the top 10. Right? In 2023, you had Rolex, Cartier, which knocked Omega out of second position. Omega coming in third. AP, Patek, Richard Mille, Longines, Vacheron, Breitling, and Tissot coming in at number 10, which is one of my favorite brands. 2024, nothing changed. But 2025, nothing changed. Except when you go into the top 20, Tudor has been knocked out of the top 20. They're under the top 20. So the hype for Tudor is over with. It's over with, right? So for all of the Tudor fans out there, this is not discrediting the watch, but if a part of my research I was looking at, more and more people in 2025 are they're betting on a sure thing, which is Rolex. Now Rolex is, I think they're opening up a new manufacturing plant. It's something that they're doing, right?
Mhm.
And I know with them closing Carl Bucher down, all of those employees are, or some of those employees are coming over to Rolex, right? And I guess they're
Right.
going to be in this new facility, right? So there's people, even though we're talking Rolex, everybody still can't afford Rolex, bro. You know, it just can't. And some people
Eh,
don't believe in buying a Rolex.
I think you got a point, but I think that point also shows that Tudor might not be dead just yet. I think because of the hype of Tudor over the 2023, 2024, there's a lot more Tudor in the used market. And so maybe the
Mm.
new
Yes.
watches are not being purchased as much. But when you go to things like Watch Exchange and Chrono 24, people still
Oh yeah.
hitting them Tudors back and forth. Now, I do think that they do need to innovate a little bit more, expand upon the Black Bay, but the Black Bay GMT, the monochrome, like I think people still really want those.
Mm.
The new Chronos that they're coming out with the different colorways. Once again, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna buy it, but people seem like they like it. And I think from the
Yeah.
enthusiast community, when you scroll, bro, you ain't making it 10, 15 scrolls without seeing a Tudor. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Bro, I'm trying to tell you.
And I
Yeah.
guess counteracting my own thing, maybe it's because the hype has become so much, people are starting to back away a little bit more. But I think Tudor offers a great value for people who want a one and done watch, who
Yeah.
don't want to spend too much time trying to research it. Like, you know, there's a reason why they called it the poor man's Rolex. I don't agree with that analogy, but I can understand it. And if somebody
Mhm.
wants a high quality watch, they want something that's affordable, especially now with the used market popping off. I think this is just more of a slowdown of the new market, but I think Tudor's here to stay.
I think that's a
I
really
got a
good
question.
perspective because at the end of the day, if you're going for a tutor, you're looking to have that savings, but you're still getting that quality, you're still getting that feel. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that rather let the first person take the hit on the initial price and then go after,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of people that change their tutors very frequently because they have a greater ability to do so. So there's a lot of people. That's a good point for us to watch the aftermarket, if you will, on the
Right.
watches to get the true feel for it.
Yeah. So here's my question. Um, you guys find it hard, like as you're looking through watches and talking about them, and getting the research and whatnot, or even just buying. Do you find it hard to kind of separate consumerism versus being an enthusiast? Because I think you're like, and let me kind of break it down a little bit more. Is, say for instance you're looking for a particular watch, you want the watch company to do certain things, and they're not, you'll hear they're not listening to the people, but
Mm.
the stuff that people are saying, like off the shelf movement versus an exclusive movement, or in-house if you will, they're not listening to us, man. They're just doing what they want to do. And does it seem like that, a company is like, I don't care about enthusiasts, I'm looking at the consumers because that's my bread and butter? Like, do you guys have a hard time kind of differentiating between the two?
So I think so. Just to be clear, we're defining an enthusiast and a watch collector, right? Because I think that those are two separate things. Like my wife has a watch collection,
Hmm.
but she's not an enthusiast, right? So if
Yes.
we're talking about that category, we're talking about the Seikos, the Citizens.
Yes.
They have to be well aware of the improvements from us screaming it from the top of the building. Yet they don't do it because their focus is to sell watches to watch collectors. I think it is very difficult nowadays to separate the two because even people who are watch collecting are on YouTube watching our channels and consuming that content, even if they aren't as passionate about what they're going to do next with their collection. It's super difficult, man. Like you can't look at the reports of Seiko and know who's who at this stage of the game. But I think it's still a beautiful thing because aside from giving Seiko and Citizen their flowers as we should, and you guys know how I feel about Seiko, they produced a movement that allowed me to do what I do with the
Yeah.
modifying and everything else, right? So at the end of the day, I'm okay with them branching. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I thought you wasn't buying no watches. We're going to talk about that. But I think that I think that at the end of the day, here's the deal. I'm always for growing the pie, right? I'm not about
Right.
cutting another slice thinner. So for me, I think it gives an opportunity to have more of a transitional period to somebody who's saying, hey, I'm just going to buy a watch because I'm at that age, to flipping over to saying, wow, this is a whole nother world, and just getting locked in and becoming passionate and an actual enthusiast for it.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess for me, when I look at it, I'm looking at the context, right? you got to look at what the brand is trying to do. And at the end of the day, they're a business and they're trying to make money and they got to survive just like we got to survive, right? So rather it be a YouTube channel who's going towards a certain route because they're trying to look for money or they're trying to reach a certain audience, I think certain brands are doing the same thing. So you have some brands that truly do care about enthusiasts. And I think you typically get that with those micro brands whose ears are closer to the ground and they're reaching out, they're getting feedback, they're developing faster. But then you get some of these bigger brands, it takes them a lot harder to change. And like sometimes I don't even know if it's a matter of them not wanting to change, but you got to think about their development cycle. It takes them a couple years to get that whole chain like switched up. I'll give another analogy with this. I was arguing with the Marine one time about the difference between the Army and the Marines. And he was talking about how the Marines were more adaptable. And I said, hey, if you got a 1-foot rope, it's easy to keep it taut instead of having a 100-foot rope. You know what I mean? These micro brands, when you only produce in 700,000, couple thousand watches, you could do that quick. These major brands that are pushing 100,000 million, like it's hard to change a factory. It's hard to change the supply demand. And so I think we got to cut some of these companies, I won't say some slack, but we just got to understand what is their market, who's in charge, how long does it take a decision making. And so like I was talking, you guys are tracking the tutor thing that I've been working through, trying to get a custom tutor, right? When we were talking to Geneva, they were like, hey, we have to get 100 minimum for the order. And I was like, bro, that's over $250,000 just to change one aspect. And like, yeah, because we have to change our factories in Switzerland. They're like, for us, this isn't just adding something to the watch. We have to literally change it. And this is to us a brand new watch. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense to me, why we need to do what we need to do. And so like, with that being said, just different brands, you got to cut them a little slack and just think about the context of what's going on. Now, if you have a micro brand or a brand that does seem to be listening and they're not changing, like the next question is why? Like maybe it's just because like us enthusiast people who are looking at it every day want one thing, but the mass market, they don't care enough to know the differences. I think that comes into it a lot as well. Hey, Random Rob, also see you in the chat. Shouts out my guy. He's also a big strap habit guy. So check out Random Rob. But
yeah, to your point, to both of our points. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Travis. To both your points, Tyree. I think that's so true. I think it's very easy for us, especially as enthusiasts, to get so locked in to think that our world is a lot bigger than what it is. But the truth of the matter is, somebody out there right now, and that's in the thousands of numbers, is getting of age to add a watch to their collection. And Seiko, just using them again as an example, has such a broad range that they're attacking that kind of market because of their overhead. So they're making more sales from that person walking in that doesn't know that now their SKX line is not 200 meters cost certified, right? So they don't care, right? And they're going to sell that watch and they're going to be able to continue to grease that wheel. So I think that you're absolutely right. And we have to also cut them slack and know what their business model keeps them alive at the end of the day. So I'm not mad at it at all.
Okay. Well, I was gonna make a point. So I got a local guy here, man, Adam Flederman. Me and him had a conversation about him bringing watches and stuff like that. Now, his approach to the market is he wants to be known as the Indiana brand, right? So you have two brands that I know that's here, Visitor as well as him. Visitor is doing well. Visitor has been going out to different events and stuff like that. And when I went out to a couple of events, I've always taken my Indiana brands with me. And I had a couple of collectors like, yo, what do you know about Adam Flederman, right? And, I tell them like what I thought, and they was like, well, why don't he come to events? Now, that has become, like how the Watching the Wonders thing is going. Hold on for a second. Good grief. Somebody interrupted me again. Stop it. I'm live. Stop it. So my thing with him is I understand from his standpoint because he does not put out as many watches. He's a small Indiana guy, right? And it's a German-based watch, or it has his German history in this watch. It is an acquired taste, but like I explained to him, I told him, I gave him some feedback, and if you're watching Adam, what we talked about. Going out to these events, I think, is important. But then there's people that are asking for certain things, and for him to change, like the concept of a watch or ask them to the watch is going to be a lot. And that costs. Like I'm looking at being this close to it. There's so much money that they have to put in, and if they don't have the scratch, if they're not moving, because some people that's their bread and butter. Like they like, okay, you want me? I hear you, but I sold my house, or I took a second mortgage out on my house. I sold my extra car. I donated blood. I did all kind of stuff to get enough money just to get this one concept out. And
Yeah.
maybe 60%, let's say 70% accepts the watch, but there's only, maybe 25% can buy the watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like they're stuck. Did we lose Skyler?
I think we lost Scholar, and I'm actually
Okay,
Scholar.
there we
Okay,
go.
just have back on. I said before I had to go, I got a birthday party I got to go to with the kids. We about to be at the roller rink.
Okay.
You about to see me skating. But I hope to hop back into a conversation either later sometime or another time. But thank you guys so much for having me, man. This is some good
Dude,
conversation, man.
yes.
We was just getting ready to dig deep into it, bro. But thank y'all so much.
Hey, we'll
Love
do. We'll
y'all.
pick it back up, bro. We'll schedule it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Tyree, he has to go, but bro, thank you so much for coming in. We will schedule another one. There will be a part 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, man. Don't bust your butt on them skates, bro.
Oh, I will. I will. Hey, God bless y'all.
Tyree,
Peace.
absolute
All right,
pleasure,
bro.
brother. Be good.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for kind of stopping by. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tyree. Bro, yeah, that brother, he awesome guy, man. Awesome guy,
Yeah.
dudes. Woo! So, bro, now as far as is watch is concerned, let's jump on this topic. Staying on this topic, actually, watching James
Mhm.
and merely on time, and there's a host of people, including yourself, that have been talking about affordable watches, Aliexpress versus microbrands versus the major brands.
Mhm.
We know what you just said, bro, and I feel you. If I can't afford it, it's not that you don't like. I give flowers. I appreciate you because I'm gonna tell you that monochrome Tudor. If I can buy that watch, I absolutely love that watch. That watch is amazing. But the alternatives. I'll give you one right now, and they got to be doing good. Nomadic,
Mm.
Nomadic, bro, has to be doing amazing, bro, because they came out in the past 6 months. They've come out with I think at least 3 models, right? And on Instagram yesterday, they just got the keys to a new facility, a new store out there in Belfast, right? It did. I guess it opens up this summer.
Mm.
They have to be, bro. They got to be doing amazingly, bro. Like especially in this market, and that's what I want to talk about, bro. Do you think AliExpress? They've been doing their thing, bro. But I have not paid attention to AliExpress as much as I have this year. Do you
Okay.
think that they're going to take over a major part of the market with this bubble that's burst with the big brands?
Oh man, with big brands itself, I think that there's a little bit too strong of a disconnect for them to affect, let's say, a Tudor or Rolex. I don't think that that's going to be a thing. I think the customer for AliExpress and for a big brand is not the same conversation. However, and I just said this on my last live, I think that they're going to take a chunk out of the micro brand space, right? You talk about your San Martins of the world and Boltony and all the other guys on AliExpress that are coming up in their manufacturing process and what they're offering. For sure, in the next 3 years, if not sooner, they're going to be pushing the envelope for the micro brands to do better, right? If you talk about San Martin and their bracelets, you're getting the micro adjust, you're getting the quick release, you're getting phenomenal finishing. And now they're even giving you unique designs in their dials and their setup and all together, right? So that is for sure going to eat some of the micro brands lunch. Maybe not some of the top dogs that have the actual innovation that they're putting into the watches, but all the ones that are entering in brand new, that's going to put a lot of pressure on there. And ultimately, I think that if anything, they're going to affect the micro brand space or independent brand space, if you will,
Mm,
for sure.
yeah, yeah. You know what? Watches and Wonder had a watch last year, the IWC. Gosh, what was it, like an internal calendar or something like that? This thing can tell proper time for like a billion years or something crazy. Bro, and if you and guys, and I encourage you to go look that up. I think it's called the IWC internal calendar. Y'all know I'm a Panerai guy, and I saw Panerai's display last year, and I got excited because I just love, bro. I absolutely love Panerai's design. I don't
Yeah.
even care the Edda-based movement. I don't care about none of that, bro. Panerai to me, we got this love affair, bro. To the point where I I almost bought the homage version of it, but I said,
Mm.
No, I can't even do it. I can't. It was in my cart. I can't do it. I will. I can't, bro. I can't, bro. I can't. Because here's the deal. Y'all know I was building a watch, right? And I'll give you this: the case design is actual panerized. Oh, I found a company that offers a panerized style case and AR coding the whole nine. We're just right now they're working on the movement of it,
Mm,
and it's very, all of it's being done in Kokomo. I wanted a pure mechanical movement on this watch because I wanted that personal vibe on it. But the actual dial is going to it is going to resemble what Kokomo can do in my imagination. So
mm,
it's not going to be a Panerai homage outside of just the case. The dial is going to be completely different. But with that being said, I'm just looking at, and I understand that, bro. Like, but I'm just curious. I asked that question because there were a lot of people, GM employees lost their jobs. There's going to be a lot of 10,000 postal workers are losing their jobs
yeah,
across the board. People are losing money, and one thing I do know, even in poverty, people still want that. We're consumers, but like you can't get that out your system,
right.
And I'm just thinking that those people that was inspiring to buy a Tudor or buy a Rolex, right now there's a ton of people that can't,
Hmm.
and some people like they love watches, they want to watch, and I'm like, okay, what's the alternative? Well, there's a lot of micro brands that they don't know about. Dude, I just learned about what like 6 or 7 of them at that DC show. And I was like, I didn't even Ebonheart. So I didn't know that was even a thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm just curious as to how big AliExpress and bro, let's keep it 100. The finishing in the dials and stuff like that. And I'm saying minus the movement because I hear this on YouTube. Hey, this off the shelf movement. I think the average person care less about the movement.
Right.
Whether it be course or automatic. I think that's an enthusiast thing. Somebody that love watches, yeah, I can see you wanting something, not even in house, but like something special. Salida 200, 2824,
Right.
2836, or whatever. Something ETA, you know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know, bro. I just feel like they're gonna gain the ground. But I do agree with you on the micro brand space. I think that micro brands are gonna be in trouble. The price, bro.
Yeah.
The
Oh
price.
yeah. Price for sure. Price for sure. And then what you're getting as value. Here's the deal about the AliExpress. Even if you don't like it, it's being represented heavily by creators. And Merely on Time just made a video, and I'm glad that he did it because it gave us that insight behind the scenes as to why he's promoting the AliExpress watches. And as a creator, wanting to be able to fund the hobby in itself, you got to realize that in order for us to continue, we need to make some kind of money to present new watches, either that or build relationships. And that is not easy as you think to build a relationship to get access to a watch, period. Therefore, you're left with two options: to buy the watches yourself or to make money so like that it covers that, right? So either way,
Right.
AliExpress gives you that access as a creator. And then if you are actually influencing people to make purchases responsibly, then you're able to fund this hobby and fund this creative side of things. And that's not going to go away. We're seeing, how many AliExpress videos did we see? And that gave me a lot of perspective. So shout out to Merely on Time for that. I'm covering 2 watches as an in-depth review. They're done. I'm just waiting to release them. So why wouldn't I want to do an affiliate link to make some money off of those promotions and be able to fund this
Most
hobby?
definitely.
And that's the tying end to the creator and the content that you're giving, and that's never going to go away. And with that compounding with the actual quality getting better year by year, they're definitely not going away. They are taking some of the microbrand lunch. And I mean, look, I keep referencing it, but it's point in case. San Martin started off as a clomage, homage, whatever you want to call it. Now they're at the point where they have Jenghong, which is an actual independent brand, but even their line of San Martins are coming out with unique designs. So, you're literally
Oh, I think
watching
we
that
go. There we
transition.
go.
You're literally watching that transition. And then how many times are you seeing people reference microbrands now to San Martin? They're like, oh, well, that's just the equivalence of a San Martin. There's nothing much exciting. And I'll tell you what, to Oscar's point, he also said this in chat a while ago. He's saying he's seeing so many microbrands pop up. And I'm all for that. for sure. Like you could come into the market, there could be 100 that come out tomorrow. I think the more options is better for us because they're going to get whittled out, right? Over time, you're either going to make it or you're not going to make it. So that's just an opportunity for us as enthusiasts to get presented something that we haven't seen before, or that's about it. So yeah, dude, AliExpress is not going anywhere fast. In fact, the trust for AliExpress is also growing. I think a lot of people can agree that are purchasing from them. Before, you had to wait like 4 weeks. Now they're getting it to your doorstep in a week. So you're seeing the rise of AliExpress as a service, and then you're seeing the creators actually doing that heavy lifting for them, and it's a smart move.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna tell you this, and I don't know the numbers, but Amazon was like, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 years ago, Amazon was the place to be. That was the
Oh
place
yeah.
to go buy your watches. I don't see as much at this point because, and I'm basing this off of just research. If you go and look at a San Martin watch over on Amazon, they'll show you a number for whoever the seller is, and they'll say in the past month 50 people bought this watch. Or
Mm,
matter of fact, I actually, because I bought this last year off of Amazon, San
mm,
Martin, right? That Tudor Black Bay Pro, and I went over to AliExpress and they have the same meter. And I'm looking
mm,
like, yo, I'm talking about hands down. Just this year alone, I went and looked at the watch that they had available on AliExpress versus Amazon. And so Amazon is on the outside. And I think too, based on that DEI stuff, there was it 2 weeks ago, people that put out this thing, don't buy from Amazon, don't buy from Target, Walmart, and all these other places for
right.
a day. And now Amazon's still going to be doing a thing. Amazon as a business is still going to be cranking out watches.
Oh, for
But I
sure.
just think, I know that they feel the competition right now. But here's the point I want to make. You know, fake watches, the black market, if you will,
Mm,
is $1 billion, like $1 billion industry. And that has, I mean, it hasn't affected Rolex and Patek to the point where they're not in business, but it still takes out a portion of their margin. You know what I'm saying? Because just imagine if that didn't exist, how many more people, how many more Rolexes? They're probably putting out 1.5 million Rolexes a year versus the million or however many they put out. I just feel that AliExpress is closing that gap, even over micro brands,
okay.
because I just feel like, for example, when you think of micro brands, first one of the first names that come to mind is Islander. I just think, you know what I'm saying? Like Islander has become one of those brands that comes synonymous with, watch collecting. There you go. There you go. And then another one that you covered, Zelos. Dude, this watch is like Michael Jordan, bro. Like when people stand in line for Jordans, bro, like if you guys have never purchased a Zelos timepiece and waited online, bro, you have seconds to click because if the watch that you're looking for is highly sought after, those Zelos fans are dedicated.
Yeah.
And soon as you hit buy, you'll look like, wait a minute, what happened? They'll be like, hey, item in your cart has been sold. That's the only message that you'll get. But you said that you made a point, bro. Like there could be 100 micro brands that come out, but we all know that all of them not gonna make it, bro.
No, 100%. And I'll be honest. I was actually tracked. I was intrigued by that. Right. I just did the collab with Zelos myself. I got the meteorite dial from them. We did the review. Right. And the thing about it is, I was watching that whole them selling out really quickly, and I think I haven't checked it today, but even that meteorite dial is still available. So not all the time do they sell out right away. Now, if they're coming out with a watch that's really crazy, then yeah. But I was expecting all those watches to be sold out after everybody said the hype for Zelos, and they still have a lot of watches available for their new line of Mako. So I guess it's really a conversation about what they really are putting out and what is going to be super popular. And some people don't like that setup, but I respect it. He's trying to create his own atmosphere, and listen, people, even when they get frustrated with it, they go back. But yeah, dude, for sure. Like, I know we're bouncing back and forth, but yeah, man, the AliExpress type of deal, that's going nowhere fast. And even me as an enthusiast, and again, it's hard because I'm no longer just a watch collector. I'm an enthusiast, right? So I could only give you
Right.
the glasses that I'm wearing. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to. The difference between AliExpress and Amazon as an enthusiast right now, if I'm looking for a deal on a Seiko, I might shop at Amazon, or at the very least, I'm going to reference the Seiko pricing on Amazon because you're not going to get it from
Right.
AliExpress. That's the advantage, right? But even
Right.
still, I'm going into an AD and I want to try to get a better deal from that as well. So I think as an enthusiast, a lot of it is lost from Amazon, and I think now it's shifted more towards the
George.
AliExpress for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm gonna say this, man, because listen, for all of my viewers that love IWC, that love
hmm
independent brands like Nortane, which use the Kinesi movement. Those you guys that like Omega and stuff like that. AliExpress makes a watch for every situation, every scenario, every
yeah,
look. And granted, I know it does not have the history. You got companies like Baltony, right? I
right.
mean, dude, they make Tandorio, bro. Like they make some amazing looking watches, and you can't argue that they're not going to have the history.
Right.
But you can't argue the fact that you're getting a watch with either PT 5000, some we back
Yeah, I got
Select
you.
200 or okay, we got you. All right. I don't know. We had like a break. Something happened. But anyway, um, bro, the value for dollar when you
hmm
get one of these watches, if you have yet to experience one of these watches, man, you get it in hand, you'll be satisfied. You're like, okay, this is
Yeah.
cool. But what does that make me? I feel bad because I should have some type of dedication or loyalty to a name brand,
Mm.
and it's like, what do I do at this point? I don't want to betray brands because it's like being a fan of Nike or like Fendi or any brand because we are brand affiliated. We love brands where it's in our culture. But I can't deny the fact that I have a couple of watches that AliExpress. I didn't buy them from AliExpress, but they offer them. Bro, these watches are phenomenal in comparison.
Yeah.
And even if you don't compare them to anything, it look good on your wrist.
Hundred
So
percent.
I think that's an argument that I think that's a dead argument because I know there's a group of people that do not like those AliExpress brands over um, your main brand because they feel that it's like based off the conversation I've had with these people, they feel like it takes away from the brand. It takes
Mm.
away from the legacy, the history, and you know how slippery that slope can be.
Yeah, yeah. I think that argument is just for the individual that is looking. I think you're going to feel about it one way or another, and that's going to affect your decision moving forward. But I feel that one of the best moves that some of these brands can do is if they're going to do a homage or clomage of a watch. I've seen this done. I think even in a micro brand space as well, they'll copy a watch that is discontinued and it's vintage and you can't get it anymore, and it's a design that was gone a long time ago, right? And I think that that's a very interesting approach. And then if you compound that with a Miyota, because I feel like Miyota is more socially acceptable. Like it's just you can wrap your mind around it a little bit better when you get the higher beat inside that movement. So if you
Hmm.
take a design factor that's a homage of something that's discontinued and it has that nostalgic feeling, you no longer feel like you're absorbing anything from a brand, or you get away from that feeling of cheating on a brand rather than getting something that's just not accessible anymore. And the brand could do a re-release, but they're not. And so I thought that was an interesting approach from some companies, and I think that would be the key towards doing it. Either that or doing a unique design. I said, look, you guys are now buying AliExpress brands batches enough in volume to go ahead and get a design factor that's different than that's out there. So I say either or, which strengthen that culture. And then, of course, as much as I love the NH35, you can't get away from the fact that some people are put off from it. So I think that going a Miyota route, at least, because as you said, you have the SW200, you have the PT5000.
Yep.
There are movements that are getting played around with a lot more. You can go anywhere with that. And listen, we had a whole conversation about the PT5000. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. There's not enough trust in that yet. I think that if a couple of AliExpress brands got together and increased the production for that movement, because it's almost there. It just doesn't have quality control. But once you do that, now you have an ETA-based movement that is equal to the SW200. Now you go skyrocket, right? You compound all those things, and that's a very deadly weapon. Of course, price is always going to be, how can we crunch this into state? But look, I think there's a lot of enthusiasts that would be okay with $50 to $100 max on what's on AliExpress right now to get all the things that I talked about into it and completely changing the game for them all around.
Yeah, I want to tackle this question. I have an answer for you, Ben 10. He says, what's the difference between enthusiast and collector?
It's a good question.
And I will put, if you look in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Tyree and Skyler sitting back to back against the world. That's your definition right there. That's your answer.
Yeah, man.
That's your answer.
I've defined that. The easiest way I can look at it is this, man. My wife is a collector now, and she's a collector of watches that I own and she likes. So basically, she does her shopping from my collection. And she has a collection, but she's not an enthusiast, right? She's not going to come up on here and talk for hours. She's not going to do hours of research and consume a lot of content. So she has a collection. She's a watch collector, even if she doesn't like it. But that would be the difference between that and enthusiast for my eyes.
Okay, so Tyree says, but sometimes history can be half the value. So I have a thought about that. This is my thing. When it comes to the history of the watches, you have the watches that already established that history. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes them so highly sought after and stuff like that. It's not that you need a new watch company to come out with something groundbreaking or whatever the case is. Which I mean, it'd still be nice, right? Like case in point. Where is it at? So this piece right here, like I jokingly said that, if you were on a plane that crashed, based on like recent news, and you were down at the bottom and you were like, hey, we're stuck down here, and another plane's flying over, and you start shining this thing to where people can see the Morse code, and you're saved because of that, and Seiko gets the story, and they come out with an edition that like, hey, this is the man that saved 240 people from a Pan Am flight or something like that. Then you have the Pan Am Seiko survival watch. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be. I know it's far fetched, but just go with me on that. It's like that right there. That right there will be something that like collectors and consumers will love. And be like, hey, that guy saved a lot of people. That's amazing. That the ingenuity of the watch company for coming out with a watch that can reflect light like that is amazing. And of course, we're talking about moon landing watches that's gone to the Mariana Trench, all of these different features and feats that these companies have made. They have done it already. So if that's what you like, go for it. In the meantime, enjoy the watches that's out there. You like every watch don't have a story, and then sometimes it's like we were talking about this. Some watch companies that put the watch out and they're like, hey, I don't like it because my watch is getting 35 seconds a day, and I love the watch. I like this, but it is what it is. Well, think about the tuner community. Somebody can get a basic, like back in the day, the Cavaliers, Chevy Cavaliers. I know this is before some of y'all time. Chevy Cavalier, basic 119 horsepower vehicle, 4-cylinder. By the time the person that loved that car, they didn't spend another $30,000 putting blowers on this thing and taking this thing from 119 horses to 330 horses, 0 to 60 in 9 seconds flat. You know what I'm saying? Something crazy. And the same thing with watches. Skyler, how many watches have you altered, bro? Different straps. You just did like your Islander. You changed out the whole bezel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Gave it a whole different look.
Yeah, exactly. I'm no stranger to that. And that's just like, look, I felt a little guilty doing that. He's talking about the ISO 245 Port Chef, Miota 9075. I changed the bezel insert to that. I felt even guilty doing that because I didn't want to be disrespectful to Mark's design language. But to your point of everything that we're talking about, right? That was my value, right? That was what I wanted to do. And the watches are personally in my collection for a reason. So however I like to collect is the way I should. Now, how much you value on a brand's heritage and how much you're willing to pay. Listen, we throw around a lot of conversations, so I think that a lot of the water gets muddied
Yeah.
up, right? But I think that we have to resume back to the basics and resume back to the respectful place where it's like, if for you, $4,000 of what I really feel that watch is worth it for you because it has that heritage and it has that story of saving somebody in the whatever it is. Respectfully, I'm happy for you. It's just that I can't get there, and you should be okay with that. And we can keep it moving and keep collecting. You know what I mean? So that's my whole thing.
Luciano, I misspoke. I didn't mean 0 to 60 in 9 seconds. I meant like a quarter mile time. I got, you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes I get talking. Yeah, 0 to 60 in
Keep
like
listening.
2.5 seconds. Yeah, hey, bro, I was locked in. Hey, hey, but yeah, bro, I'm gonna tell you what though. I really enjoying the micro brand and one of my favorite micro brands, bro. And I know you can appreciate this micro brand, bro. He's actually bringing people to collectors together up in Canada, man. But like, I know this is like one of your favorite pieces right
Man.
here.
You know what though?
But-
You know what though? It does sting a little less because I got the meteorite Zellos, so it
yeah.
still
Oh,
hurts, but not so
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Hey,
watch.
bro. Hey, you know what? The first time I saw this watch, bro, like Godfather says, this watch smacked me so hard, bro. I put it
Hmm.
on the wrist, I turned the bezel, I looked at it, and just appreciated everything. And then I was looking at the accents, man. This is a watch, and when you're looking at it in regular light, it's cool. You bring it outside, it just comes to life. Like even
Right.
like it's overcast right now, it's just so much flavor to this watch, man. And the meteorite, there's certain parts of it that's stressed. There's some parts that look like I don't know, bro. It's crazy. It's like it's telling a story.
Yeah.
And this isn't a watch that you want to drive and look down. I mean, because you'll get in trouble. You mess around and crash. For real, bro. But then, like you're to the point of owning the Zellos, like this black tip, bro. That full dial,
Yeah.
bro, is just delicious, bro. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
one thing that I will say, and not taking anything away from your major brands and stuff like that. You know, again,
Right.
I said like one of my favorite brands is Panerai. You know, and I
Yeah.
know Panerai isn't it's still considered a top dog with people, but you're gonna get more of your Rolex and Omega collectors and shoot Cartier. You know what's funny? The ladies market actually, the women collectors actually pushed Cartier to a point where they are now, because there's certain men. What was that one? Cartier had that reverse movement piece they had last year. The what was
Right.
it called? The rewind. That watch, I saw that watch in person. That watch is crazy. Telling
Mm.
time backwards is such a concept, bro. Like that. That had to be outside of the IWC eternal calendar. That watch was amazing, and that's what makes like that's why I respect the major brands so much. But one with AliExpress versus micro brands, very accessible. Like you can get one right now. And
Yeah.
case in point, I'm pretty sure somebody, one of y'all that went over there to AliExpress and you got some in your cart. And don't blame me. So you got million time in watching James. So you can't put that off on me. I'm just, and hey, did you see the episode that James talked about, bro? AliExpress grill. AliExpress and the word grill in the same sentence.
I saw that. I saw the title. I don't think I've seen it, but yeah, that's
Bro,
that's out there.
bro, bro. I was like, see, here's the crazy thing, and I want to get James on here and talk about that. I'm like, James,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, you got
do
some
realize
explaining to
what
do.
you got some Lucy, you got some explaining to do,
Yeah, yeah.
bro. I just wonder how many people he made shriek. Like he was
Oh,
like, what?
yeah.
How many enthusiasts clutch their pearls at that point in time? Because I asked that question a month ago. Is it possible to have a micro brand or AliExpress grail level collection? Is it
Mm.
possible? I mean, and I'm leaving that question for the chat. Case in point, to chat. Anybody that's here, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you like the content. I do have two of the most phenomenal men down in the description. I have Skyler Santana and Tyree from Unwound. Check them out. If you like the content, subscribe. If you like the content here, subscribe. If you don't, no worries. No, hey, go look at Skyler's latest video on how to become a YouTuber. There's no worries. There's no worries, bro. Like, hey,
Yeah. Well, I
man.
mean, look, the bottom line is this, Travis. This is something that we always advocated, right? To ask the
Mhm.
question, is it possible to make a Grail collection from AliExpress? Again, if we're coming from a place where your values are your values and your collection is your personal collection, absolutely. I mean, it's how the person's going to feel about adding the watches that they get from AliExpress, and we're seeing AliExpress, as we said time and time again, improve and give better quality.
Yeah.
So you can for sure build. I mean, if you just look at San Martin alone, and I'm not saying that you need to, because there's a lot of beautiful watches on there that you can be happy with and are good quality. But I think you can 100% build something for yourself if that's what you valued and you appreciate your timepieces as is. And I want to leave you with also something going back to the whole conversation. Here's the deal, bro. I'm going to sum it all up. I feel like it all comes down to this. I feel that micro brands are giving us, we're living through history at that point, right? And you've said this actually. I got this from you, right? The micro brands, some of them, especially the top dogs, are the Rolex and the Tudor where they were when they first started off. They weren't producing a million watches a year off rip. So what we're seeing is we're seeing them claw and scratch their way and give us innovation, give us new things it's not even every year anymore, right? It's like every 3 to 6 months, if that.
Yep.
And they're doing a lot of
Yep.
crazy things with movements, designs. So I feel that it's very easy at this point, or from that perspective, to say that when you're looking at an independent or a micro brand, you're looking at the Rolex and all those other names build themselves up into that position. Not saying that that is their goal to have ADs and everything else, but now with all the technology, who's to say that you won't get a micro brand selling just as many units as all of the other big brands at one point? And at the end of the day, vice versa, we look at the bigger brands resting on their loins, right? I'm not going to say that they're lazy, but I would like to say something that I think everybody would agree on, and that's you're not seeing too many refreshments or too many things new to their collection. They have a lot of safety in going from iteration to iteration, changing almost virtually nothing. And it works for them because they have that heritage and they have that history. So I think that those are the two different arguments, and it's okay to value any side. It's okay to value both, right? You know some collectors
Mhm.
that have from Rolex to Invicta, right? So there's
Yep.
really no rhyme or reason, and it's a personal collection for a reason. It's personal. That's it.
Well said, bro. Well said. And the only thing I'll say about that, for those that, it's really not an argument about, what a grail level is, because I consider a number of watches in my collection to be grails, and they will not go, they won't leave. Um, for special occasions, they're with me until I die, and then they're passed on to family. But it comes down to this unspoken thing is, and I've said this before, social status.
Mm-hmm.
If you do go down that pathway of, and there's no right or wrong way to collect for yourself, right? Um, unless you, well, I guess, unless you're like going without eating to buy a watch, then that's something different. But um, my thing is, if you post what you purchased and you consider that the grail, you post on Watch Country, you post on YouTube, or you post anywhere, and you say it's a grail level, when people look through, because people are going to judge, and all they see is AliExpress stuff, and they like, but this dude talking about grail, and then they say something out of the way. Um, be prepared for opinions. Be prepared for the lewd comments and stuff like that. And if you don't have the stomach to take that, keep your grill level to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm serious, bro. Like I'm being honest
That's true.
because I've seen it too many times where people have posted a watch that they thought was just phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? I did that before with an Invicta, right? And I still stand on that. You know, you'll never hear me say in a million years, I don't care if I'm on YouTube, but 10, 20 years from now, I will never shy away from the fact that I started my collection off Invicta. I started my channel off Invicta.
Right.
I'm not scared of that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who I am. Uh,
Hmm.
Case in point, though, there's some watches that I consider to be mainstays. Matter of fact, I consider this to be because it took me a lot to get this watch. This is a grand
Yeah.
level watch for me. You know what I'm saying? That watch means a lot. You know, I have a watch that I know my man may be in the chat right now. My Zodiac.
Mm.
Yeah, that right there, bro. That watch means a lot to me, man. And even my glycine, bro. I went, you know, like this glycine has a story, like a
Hmm.
serious story, man. It was my love affair for Invicta and Shop HQ, but the hatred that came behind it, the disappointment that came behind it, man. There's so much in that, but I worked for that watch. I earned
Right.
that watch through my efforts on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and I got that watch, and that will never leave my collection. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So, and I consider that to be a very significant watch. Plus, it's the glycine. You know, it has history. It may not be talked about, but it does have history. You know, even the owner, the creator of this, got killed. I think with a brick, got stoned to death or stabbed or something like that.
Mm.
You know, I think it was his apprentice, and based on what I read, I think he wasn't able to. He didn't pay him or something. It was something, but he killed him, and he only did like 9 months in prison though. Like he only
Okay.
did 9 months, bro. Like I said, that's crazy. But the point about it is, ladies and gentlemen, I know we talked about it a lot, and we're going to pick this back up because I definitely want to get more insight from Tyree. Hopefully, hey, I'm going to throw this out there, James. If we can work it out, I would love to have me, James, Tyree, Mr. Wood from Watch Hangout. Would
Hmm.
love to have all of us on a panel at some point in time. Just to finish talking about this because there's so much value from each person's perspective, right?
Right.
Man, Skyler, you hit some major points, man. Gosh, you hit some valuable points, bro. But
Appreciate it.
while we're ending this, man, where can people find you at, sir?
Where they could find me at on your
Yeah.
channel, do it live. Yeah, man. Listen, I got my own little channel. I'm basically doing the same thing that Travis is doing. I learned a lot from him. Watch reviews, everything else on my YouTube channel. Everything from building watches to microbrands is the biggest thing that I'm excited for. And I'm also on Watch Crunch. You know, I really believe on that platform. If you guys are looking for a supplement in community for connecting, I think that that's the greatest platform created today. They're getting a lot more brands involved. I brought a couple of brand owners on that platform as well. So if you want a direct connection to brands as well, I think that that's a phenomenal place. So either Watch Crunch, I'm not that active on my Instagram, but YouTube and Watch Crunch is where I be at.
Hey, and because this is a listen, we of course I'm hosting this live, man, but today's heroes of the channel is the Santana family, man. And I'm gonna end on this. We're gonna end on this one. Wear
Appreciate you.
what you love. Life's too short to put labels on societal values or material goods. Ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, this has been an episode created just to bring you guys some valuable information, some fun information, and some great people. Great talk. And Miss Santana summed it up. So I can't go any further than that. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing my channel. Listen, you just got me 1 million views because you said that. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Your husband's cool, but we know you to go. we
100%. I give her all the credit, man. I wouldn't be
we know
half a
you to
man if
go.
it wasn't for her.
Go check out Skyler Santana's channel, man. Check out his.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we lost him. Yeah, I might have to sign out. So what the man was
Are
trying to
we here?
say
We
is,
back? We
yeah, I think
back?
we got you. I can hear you. Uh-oh. Right at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, both of us appreciate to having you on the channel. I'm going to take the reins and sign off because my man is freezing up. But this was an absolute pleasure. We are trying to get this together more often on his channel because he's the GOAT. And yeah, got you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. No, hey, no, bro, go ahead, please finish.
So he's the GOAT, and we're trying to get some minds together on this channel so we can build a panel and do the right thing. This was a lot of fun. Travis, thank you so much for having me on. And I'm going to sign out like I normally do and appreciating all the enthusiasts watching by spending your most valuable asset, which is time. And I hope to see you in the next.
Yeah.